Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you've had a nice day. I've had a very lazy day today, really. I'd already done the answers to this yesterday, so yeah, not done a lot today. Did a bit of an exercise class this morning. Hopefully, some of you might have joined me on our Dizzyfeet page. I know some of you did. Even got a photograph from one of you, which was marvellous, holding your tins of beans up, which was marvellous. Tremendous stuff. And then after that, what did we do? Not a lot. I went out for a run, hurt my knee. So that serves me right, I suppose, doesn't it? So, not sure I'll be running for a couple of days. Got to rest that for a bit. And then I had, appointments all afternoon. Doing very little, really. Doing very little. So it's been a bit of a quiet day today. But here we are with the results of yesterday's quiz. So hopefully, those of you that took part last night are all ready and raring to go to get your results. But before that, I'm going to show you the leaderboard. So this is the leaderboard as it stands currently after 2 weeks. So Tequila Mockingbird is up there at the top with a clear 8.5 point lead. And down at the bottom there, Team Unwise, they weren't able to take part last night, it seemed, although I thought they were to start with. Motivated is a new entry down at the bottom there as well. And Two Left Feet have been both weeks, have taken part both weeks. That need to brush up a bit on some of their music questions, I think, actually. And Barn Dancers, well done to Barn Dancers. First week, 49 points out of a possible 60. So you were joint second behind Team GKN, who got an incredible 50 points from last night's quiz. And a maximum score on the music round, I might add. So that was very good indeed. But we'll come through with we'll get through to all the results now, shall we? So let's make a start. So, round one. We're going to get through this nice and quick tonight. Here we go. So, how many holes in a standard round of golf? Well, there are, of course, 18. So I think everyone got that right. Question number 2 was the total number of dots on a die. Now, this is an easy one, of course. You just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add them all up, and it comes to 21. Some people didn't get that right. To date, how many Fast and Furious films have there been? Well, there are films in production, and there are actually a couple of spin-off films, I think. Definitely one. But there's only been, to date, in the cinema, 8 Fast and Furious films to date. There is one in the pipeline about to come out very soon. That doesn't count. So there's 8. How many Red Balls are on the table in a standard game of snooker at the beginning, of course? Of course, I presumed that's what you'd think. 15. That's in a standard game of snooker on a full-size table. 15. What number was Herbie, the racing VW Beetle? Herbie was number 53. And unbelievably was able to beat supercars of the day in a Beetle. That was just a film. What number football shirt did Matthew Letizier wear? Well, of course, he wore number 7. Le God wore number 7. And our number 7 at the moment is Shane Long. Not quite as majestic with the ball, but works a bit harder generally. In English law, now this is interesting, and something for all of us to consider in the coming weeks and perhaps months that we might be stuck indoors. In English law, what is the smallest number of people that can constitute a riot? It's 3 people. 3 people. So Ella, Kelly and I can go out on the street and officially start a riot. The 3 of us. Tremendous, isn't it? Fabulous. Number 8. What is the highest number used in a standard game of bingo? It is in fact 90. Some of you said 99. Some of you said 2 fat ladies. It is 90. How many sides does a dodecahedron have? Well, it's got 12 sides. And the last question in that first round was how many numbers, excluding 0, are there on a roulette wheel? So there are 36 numbers, excluding the 0. So no one got 10 out of 10 for that one, I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to call it up in front of my screen. I'm not going to let you see all the individual scores at the moment because that's not quite fair, I think. So, that's not the one either. Here we go. So, in that first round, yeah, no one got top marks. There was one team that got 9. One got 8. Yeah, and the lowest was a 2. Yeah. So, there we go. Moving on. Round number 2. And a round that I know you're all very excited to see the results of. The music round. Do we have any comments so far on what we're doing? No. No one at all. Hello to those of you watching on my page. There's not many of you. Oh, itchy nose, excuse me. It is just an itchy nose. I'm not picking it, I promise. So, You Shake My Nerves and You Rattle My Brain, Bom 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 Bom, is Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire. Reminds me of a time that I got a little carried away with a groin strain once with some Tiger Balm. All the single ladies. Da, da, da. Yeah, I'm not going to sing it. I should have done, really. That would have made it funnier, I suppose, if I'd sung all of these lyrics to you. That was Beyonce Knowles and Single Ladies, in brackets, put a ring on it. If, you know, that's not important. It's Single Ladies is the title. I don't quite get the thing in brackets. It's just more of the lyric, isn't it? More of the song. Anyway, so that was Beyonce. Most people got that one right, I think. Unbelievably, some people got this one wrong. When I get older, losing my hair many years from now. The Beatles, when I'm 64. Some people, of course, are losing their hair many years before 64. I'm not going to sing anymore, I promise. Number 4. At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking how I could never live without you by my side. Oh, that's marvellous. Thank you very much. You're not going to say hello on the camera tonight.
No makeup on,
You got no makeup on. You got no clothes on either.
I have got clothes on. I can see that.
I'm only joking.
See.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That was, of course, Gloria Gaynor and I Will Survive. And I don't know how we'd survive if we didn't have a little steady stream of wine coming up from downstairs. Our wine shop at the top of the road's closed as well, which is a disappointment. Very sad. Only temporary, I hope. Life in Plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere, which I thought was a strange one for some of you. Barbie Girl by Aqua. Let's move on. Now again, everyone got this one right. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Of course, it was Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I really, really, really want a Zigga Zigga. Spice Girls and Wannabe. Yes. Now, many of you didn't get this right. I think it was only one team got this completely correct. And it was Dean Martin, Volare. I wish I could sing that, but I'm not in the right, it's just not working too well tonight. You're everywhere and nowhere, baby. That is the opening lyric to Jeff Beck and Hi Ho Silver Lining. A number of you got the title, but not many of you got the artist on that one. To be fair, I didn't know the artist. I knew the song, but I didn't know the artist. And number 10, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Was, of course, Michael Jackson and Billie Jean. Now, as I said before, there was one team that got 20 out of 20 on that because it was 2 points per question. One got 19, and there was another one with 18. Then we had a few with 17, 16s and 15s and 13s. We did have one that only got 7, and we did have one that got 0, which was a bit sad. Yes. So, on to round 3. How are you all doing so far? Have you checked your results? Checked my heading up? Well, you won't know that yet, will you? I suppose. So, round 3, which was our Strictly Come Dancing round. So, what nationality is Karen Hauer? Is she Venezuelan or is she Colombian? She is Venezuelan. Most of you got that right as well. In which dance style was Len Goodman a British champion? Now, was it ballroom, old time, contemporary, or Latin American show dance? Many of you went for ballroom. One person went for contemporary, one person went for old time, but a few of you got the right answer, which was Latin American show dance. Yeah. He was very good, actually. Very good at that. He did more show dance than anything else. Which Strictly Professional has appeared in every season to date? Everyone got this right. It is, of course, Anton Dubek. Number 4. Which couple won the 2019 Glitterball Trophy? It was Kelvin and Oti. He was only a stand-in, wasn't he? He wasn't even supposed to be in the show. He only got in because someone hurt themselves. I've got something on the top of my camera there. Bit of dust. Yeah, so he did very well considering he wasn't supposed to be there at all. But he was just, justifiably the winner, I think. Very good. I even, from word go, from the first week, I remember watching it. I think he did a samba, didn't he, first week? And it was impressive, very impressive. Okay, number 5. How many times was Kevin Clifton a bridesmaid before winning in 2018? It was, in fact, 4 times. So his first 4 seasons, he was a runner-up. Then he was knocked out in week 6 or something, and then he won. So yeah, a long time to be waiting to win a competition. Not as long as Kelly and I, though, of course, from the quiz last week, which we've never won a competition in our lives together, which is very sad, isn't it? Very sad. Cheers, Eileen. Come on, Eileen. Why aren't you playing the quiz, Eileen? You're watching the results, but you didn't play the quiz. Disappointing. Name one of the celebrities from the very first series in 2004. Now, a number of you got this right. Well, you came up with one person. No one came up with anyone else. There was only one particular name that came up almost every time, which was Natasha Kaplinsky. However, these are all of the people that you could have chosen. So Jason Wood, who's a comedian who sadly died now. David Dickinson, Mr. Creosote himself. Verona Joseph, I think she was a BBC actress. I think she may well have been on Casualty or something like that. Claire Sweeney, Martin Afai, rugby player. Leslie Garrett, who was an opera singer. I taught Leslie Garrett for a little while. I worked in a dance studio in London for a few months, actually, just after the first series. And I taught Leslie Garrett after she'd finished the show. And she was tremendous, a beautiful dancer, really lovely. Anton did wonderful work with her. Christopher Parker from EastEnders, and of course, I'm going all Dutch on you, Natasha Kaplinsky, who was the winner, danced with Brendan Cole. You know all about the other stuff with that. Number 7, the lowest ever score on Strictly to date for a cha-cha-cha by Quentin Wilson was... Some of you went for 4 out of 40, that's a bit harsh. It's still the lowest ever score, 8 out of 40. 2 1s and 2 3s. Yeah, shocking, isn't it? I remember, actually, it was pretty poor. Which dance was added to the competition for the first time in Series 3? Now, this surprised me. I didn't realise this. It wasn't the Argentine Tango, the Charleston, or the Salsa. It was the Viennese Waltz. So it didn't come in until Season 3. It's a bit of a strange one. Because in the early days, they all did the same dance every week, I think. I think so. Nowadays, of course, everyone does a different dance, so they need to have lots of different dances. But back then, they only had 8 couples. So, a little bit of a trick question here for you. Which of these has not been a guest judge on any series to date? Now, Donny Osmond and Alfonso Ribeiro, I think, especially Alfonso, all of you remember Alfonso because he was tremendous, actually. Probably better than the person he replaced temporarily. Now, Darcy was a guest judge. She was a guest judge for a little while before she became a judge in her own right. So the answer was Brendan Cole, who was a judge, I think he was head judge for the New Zealand Dancing with the Stars. So he does have history of being a judge, but not on the British show. And I think he wanted a job, actually, but didn't get it, did he, unfortunately. The voiceover man on Strictly has a very distinctive voice, but what is his name? Now, this was a bit silly, of course. I like to add a little silly question in there every now and then. It was, in fact, Alan Dedicoat. not Alan Deddy Tie or Deddy Shoe I was going to come up with, or Deddy Cap. I did come up with Deddy Shoe, Deddy Cap, Deddy Tie. Yeah, nonsense, isn't it? Deddy Coat. So that was round 3. Now, round 3 was a little bit of a tricky one for a number of you, so not everyone did so well in that one. We had no full marks. We had one team with a 9. We had 2 with an 8, then a few 7s and 6s, 1 3. Nothing lower than a 3. We only had 2 teams with a 3 though. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So, on to round 4, which was our general dancing knowledge. Now, this seems to fox a few of you. I suppose a number of you that are taking part in this quiz haven't danced perhaps for that long, and so some of the questions are a little bit beyond what you might have already learnt. But that's going to change, of course. It's going to change. You're not too dim, Eileen. That's nonsense. For instance, the answers are on the screen. The answers are on the screen for these things, so it's there in front of you. So it's a lucky dip, really. If you don't know the answer, just choose one. You might get it right. In which dance would you find the Cuban breaks? Now, samba, rumba, jive, or cha-cha-cha? It is, of course, the cha-cha-cha. What must you never do in a tango? Now, someone said heel leads. Now, I was disappointed by that, because you should know better, really. So, almost every step forward in a tango is a heel lead. There's a couple of exceptions to that. A chase for the man, for instance, and a back open promenade for the lady, where she goes forward on two balls, the ball of the foot twice, which I think is a bit strange, really, to be honest. The chase, I can kind of get that. But no, the back open promenade, I'm not entirely sure about that. Close your feet. You must close your feet in tango, but you don't close them perfectly, do you, of course? So if you're closing your feet in tango, you slightly offset. Smile. Well, sometimes you might smile, sometimes you might not, but there's nothing to say you mustn't. So the answer, of course, is rise and fall. There is no rise and fall. Now, rise and fall is measured in the feet. So there's no elevation through the feet in the tango. Well, there shouldn't be anyway. Okay, certain figures, advanced figures, may have a rise action through the leg, through the body, and even maybe a touch of elevation through the feet, but that's advanced figures for competition dancers, not normal technical figures in tango. There's no rise and fall. Question number 3. Which of these is not a real sequence dance? Now, this foxed a few of you because some of you don't do sequence. And, I mean, to be honest, they all sound a bit ridiculous, don't they? So, Caribbean Calypso, Saunter Shiraz, Mambo Magic, or the Merlot Merengue? Well, the answer is the Merlot Merengue. There is a Mambo Magic, there is a Saunter Shiraz, and the Caribbean Calypso certainly exists. Now, the Caribbean, they're all a bit of fun. So if you've never been to a sequence class or never done a bit of sequence and you fancy it, let us know. We'll perhaps put some more classes on, because I know that we don't have them in any of our other venues other than only Fareham. So we might do some more, because they are a bit of fun. 16 bars of music, because you learned that last week, of course. It's a 16-bar sequence repeated, and you might enjoy them. The chasse is a step found in most dances, but in which dance would you not find it? Now, disappointed with one person who said samba, because I know they do it in their samba. We go over their routine so often, Margaret, and you still said samba to the answer. But we do there is a samba chasse. So it's a closing action of the feet in samba. We have it in tango, we have it in cha-cha-cha, we don't have it in the Viennese waltz. So the Viennese waltz has really only got 4 figures, 5 I suppose if you want to be pedantic. You've got a natural turn, a reverse turn, a change step, a fleckerel, and a contra check. That's it. So if you see anyone doing anything else other than those in a Viennese waltz, they're not doing it properly. The Paso Doble is a representation of the Spanish bullfight, but which language influences the names of many of its figures? French, Italian, Greek, or Spanish? Now, many of you said Spanish, I suppose, because it's a Spanish dance. However, it has its... you can trace its roots back to France. So a number of the figures have French names. So there we go. I did write a blog post about that a little while ago, so I'm going to dig that out and I'm going to reshare it onto our website and onto our Facebook pages, so you can have a little read about that. It should be interesting. It's the history of the Paso Doble, according to me. Not according to anyone else or any history books or anything. It's just basically what I think is right. So it might not be true, but it definitely does have some roots in France. That's true. The acronym for our governing body in this country is the BDC. But what does it stand for? It stands for the Ballroom Dance Council, British Dance Corporation, British Dance Council, or the Ballroom Dance Collective. Now, Kelly quite liked the Ballroom Dance Collective. She liked that. She likes a collective, although, to be fair, she doesn't like going out very much or being around people, so it's strange that she likes the idea of a collective. Collective of one, perhaps. Or three, so we can start a riot. It is, in fact, the British Dance Council. And recently, we had some elections, and we've got a new president now, Mr. Marcus Hilton, MBE, who I hope is going to do sterling work for the British Dance Council. He's a tremendous bloke. And so hopefully the dancing in this country now is in good hands. The most famous dance competition of all is the Blackpool Dance Festival. Marcus Hilton's the chairman of the Blackpool Dance Festival, the adult one. And Robert Bellinger, my former teacher, where I started at the Lee Ballroom in Eastleigh, he's the chairman of the Junior Dance Festival. But in which year did it start? Now, the Blackpool Dance Festival itself started in 1920. So 100 years. The Blackpool Dance Festival has been running for 100 years, which is quite amazing, actually. The British Dance Championships are slightly different, but the Blackpool Dance Festival started in 1920, which wasn't just ballroom and Latin, it was other things as well. There's some country dancing, some sequence dancing. It wasn't called modern sequence then, I suppose, because... No, of course it was. Modern sequence. Yeah, sequence. Anyway, old time and that sort of thing. Lots of different genres of dance. Anyway, moving on. The whiplash is a real dance figure, true or false? It is true. Kelly and I'll try and find some time perhaps to show you at some point. It's not rude, I promise, not rude. How many steps in a lockstep? Some of you got this wrong, I was very disappointed. There's 4 steps in a lockstep. Sorry. Perhaps I should have said in a ballroom dance, because in Latin... No, I think there's still 4. Anyway, Game Master, my decision is final. 4 steps. Many of you got it right anyway. Complete this dance figure. Double reverse. It is in fact a spin. A double reverse spin. Now, some of you who are experienced dancers got this wrong. And again, you disappointed me very much. So, that was round 4. General dancing knowledge. How did we do in that? No one got maximum marks. So we had a couple of 9s, no 8s at all, and then it jumped down to 7s, and then a couple of 6s, but mostly around 4, 5 and 6 on that one, so a little bit more dance knowledge required, I think. And finally, the final round, which was round 5, our quick fire round. This proved to be quite good for most of you, actually. Some of you do seem... it did perhaps go a bit too quickly for you, so some of you missed out the answers. But so, quickfire knowledge. Brian Lara played international cricket for which national side? The West Indies or South Africa? It was the West Indies. Which TV character was first portrayed by William Hartnell in 1963? Was it Poirot or Doctor Who? It was... Doctor Who. I don't watch Doctor Who. I've got nothing. I can't talk to you about Doctor Who at all. It's never been... I love sci-fi, but I've never watched Doctor Who. Don't know. Never watched it. Who is the Roman goddess of love? It is, of course, Venus. Mars is the god of war. So, no one got that one wrong, if I'm honest. Got to have a few easy ones. Now, this is interesting, of course, because almost every Australian actor in Hollywood these days... all started at Neighbours, Home and Away, Young Doctors, the Sullivans. Is it the Sullivans? Something else. There's another one as well, I think. Another one. Can't remember. But they all started at one of the soap operas, it seems, in Australia. So Russell Crowe, which one did he start with? He started at Neighbours. 5 episodes, I think he did, in Neighbours. I should have, with a bit more time perhaps, and a bit more resources at my disposal, I could have got some clips of all these things for you. That would have taken too long though, really. I need a team of researchers. Kurt Cobain was the lead vocalist with which US rock band? Nirvana. I think, again, almost all of you got that one right as well. Appaloosa, French Trotter, and Mustang are all breeds of which animal? Now, a couple of you did say pig. Now, I think because of the French Trotter bit, you thought of trots, they're trotters. But it is, in fact, horse. In which sport might you compete for the claret jug? Now, again, I was playing on the fact that historically, people who played darts used to sit there. I remember watching it years ago as a child. They're in a smoky room with pints on the table, drinking all their pints, then getting up and playing the darts. Well, that's all changed now. It doesn't quite happen like that anymore. So I was playing on that. Some of you might think that it was a claret jug because then they would pour some beer in it perhaps when they won and drink it. But it was, in fact, golf. Which edible plant did Popeye eat to gain superhuman strength? Again, I don't think anyone got this one wrong. It is spinach. Who is older, Ant or Dec? Now, this is a question, isn't it? Does anyone even know who they are? Which one is which? Apparently, they always stand on one side of each other. I'm not sure. Well, the answer is it's Dec. Dec is the oldest. Again, I'm not entirely sure which one he is. Isn't he the one? Yeah, Dec's the smaller one of the two, isn't he? But he's older. He's the Ernie Wise of the partnership, isn't he? He's the Ernie Wise. And finally, what is the collective noun used for a group of ferrets? One person genuinely said a trouser. Now, that's a nonsense, isn't it? This was a silly question because I remember growing up, we had a ferret come into our garden once, actually. I remember a white ferret, and my cat at the time, I was playing around and chasing it and fighting, not fighting literally, but they have a bit of a set too. And at that time of my life in the 80s, it just seemed all the time people used to have ferrets on the telly putting them down their trousers, which I thought was bizarre. Very weird very weird thing to do. So that's why I came up with a trouser of ferrets. But someone did actually say a trouser of ferrets. I mean, to be honest, perhaps a trouser of ferrets is better. I don't know. But it's a business of ferrets. What is their business? Not quite sure. Cheers. So that was round 5. And that was the quiz. So round 5, how did we do? Well, we had 5 teams get maximum marks. And then we had 1, 2, 3 9s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, lots of 8. So generally speaking, most people did quite well in that round. Some of you did miss a couple of the questions, perhaps because we were going so quickly. It's a fast round, that one. There's no messing about. But generally speaking, those of you that took part last week generally did better this week. So it's good. Obviously, this is activating your mind. So you can every morning you can watch we do the little workout to activate your body, and then we can do the quiz to activate your mind, which is marvellous, isn't it? Isn't that tremendous? Isn't it lovely? So well done. So don't forget, yes, so tomorrow morning, 10:30, we've got our workout. Now tomorrow you've got a treat because Kelly's going to be doing the workout with you tomorrow morning. I'll be there manning the messages and everything like that and seeing how many people are online joining in. My knee hurts a little bit, so I'm just going to protect it just for a day or two. I might come back Saturday or Sunday. But no, you're going to be in Kelly's safe hands. And if you want to join the quiz next week, it's very easy. Don't worry, Darren, I'm going to talk about the crimping. Don't worry, in a moment. So if you want to join the quiz, it's very easy. All you've got to do is send a message via WhatsApp on your phone to our business number. That's all you've got to do. And just tell us your quiz team name, and then you can join in from next week. It's a cumulative thing. Each week we're going to add the scores up, and whilst we're in lockdown we're going to do it every week, and then at the end of it, whoever's got the most points will win a prize, hopefully biscuits. Now, yes, Darren reminded me about the crimping. Now, the crimping was I can't explain it really. It's from the Mighty Boosh, which is a TV show that used to air on BBC 3 actually, then I think it was BBC 2. And it's one of Kelly and mine's favourite TV shows. It's just tremendous. It's really off the wall, a bit quirky. And they came up with this thing called the crimp, which is like this rhyming poem sort of thing they do exactly at the same time together. And they call it a crimp. Now, that's what we were alluding to. That's what we were talking about. Some of you came up with other ideas and other answers, but that is what the crimp is. So Kelly and I talked about doing a crimp, and that's what we were referring to. And the barn dancers got it right, and I can't believe they did. So I did question it, but no, apparently, yeah, they do watch Mighty Boosh on Netflix. And it is on Netflix if you want to watch it. If you've got nothing to do, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, I don't know. Watch it on Netflix, The Mighty Boosh. It's a little bit quirky and a bit weird, but you'll perhaps understand when you've watched it as to why I'm like I am, perhaps. Anyway, so that's about it for tonight. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to keep it nice and short and sweet. I hope you're all staying fit, well and healthy. I hope you're enjoying your time at home with your loved ones if you can. And if you're on your own, hopefully you're reaching out and talking to as many people as you can, getting online and interacting with people in the best way that you can, and staying mentally well as physically well as well. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow morning to join our workout exercise. And then if you're just doing the quiz again next Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, not 8:30. I don't know why I said 8:30. Oh, well, we're going to do another question and answer session as well, I think. We're going to do it, what day is it today? Is it Thursday today? Did I say we're going to do it tomorrow night? I did, didn't I? Okay, tomorrow night. There we go. Just arranged it. 7:30 tomorrow night. Bring a bottle, sit down, have a relax, ask some questions, and we'll have a little chat. We might do some of the art stuff, because we said about replacing that with some artwork that we've got from different countries. So we might do a few little things like that, just talk about where we've been and what we've done, some of our experiences in dance and not in dance as well. But please, yeah, get some questions ready. I'm opening this up to everybody and anyone. It doesn't have to be a dancer, a Dizzyfeet dancer. It can be anyone, one of our friends, anyone who happens to be watching this. So yeah, join in. So tomorrow at 7:30, it's a date. We look forward to seeing you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Toodaloo!